I've got a complaint, TikTok. I have yet again got another violation. I always win the appeals, so what does that say? They must have changed the rules today, because I've woken up and one of the first messages I've got is from TikTok, a violation of a video that's been up since July. Since the 20th of July. It was something about little joke, one comment that I've got an idea what the video about my own body, and that was it. I can't say any more than that without, I've been threatened with having my account banned. But yet I win all of these appeals. I've had like 4 or 5 violations, that is, in the space of a week. So, you know, if I win the appeals, guys, I know some jokers, I know when I say this now in a couple of seconds that some jokers going to, how they're going to answer, but right, if I'm winning these appeals, why are they ignoring them? Why are they ignoring it? And why are they taking it into account as if I haven't won the appeal and I've still got the strike in action? Anyway, guys, protection has always been there in my lifetime. I agree with protection. But wrapping people up in cotton wool, believe me, take it from somebody who, if I know from experience, I can't go into it, but I know from experience that if you shelter a child and wrap them up in a little ball and protect them from everything, how do you think they're going to turn out as adults? I mean, protecting someone when something happens, yeah, but how are they going to be as adults when the world is such a shock that they can't deal with it? We need to let them see the realities of what the world is about, of the world that they live in. Protection, yeah, but you can't protect every adult and child you can't protect every animal, everything. It's impossible to protect everything, and that's a sad fact. We can try our best to protect people as much as we possibly can. But anyway, sheltering them, that's a different ballgame, believe me, guys. That is a different ballgame. That's something else. That is dangerous. Sheltering children is dangerous. I know the government have been making the rules stupidly strict regarding everything, including children. Everything that covers them, that is, and anything that makes them look like they're doing something. But when it comes, believe me, take it from me, I know from experiences of government services, especially in the last decade, that it's all seemed to be doing the right thing. And the social media is there. Other things, well, they've set rules for a number of things in this country, you know, all over the country. I don't want to go into details too much, but the social medias are just the same, and TikTok seems to be worse. I mean, I don't have to appeal on YouTube. I send these videos onto my YouTube account, and the YouTube allows them. In the short time I've been on TikTok, I've got to admit, guys, it has become way stricter than YouTube, yet it didn't used to. So I don't know if they've got into trouble for being too lax in the past, but let's be honest, guys, sheltering, I will repeat this, it does not do anybody any good. Wrapping them up and protecting them from everything that's said and done in the world, especially when it hasn't happened and may never happen, it's going to get them wound up, on edge, oversensitive, not being able to cope with things. It's not a realistic idea of the world. There are many things that I probably haven't mentioned, and it's damaging, and we'll end up with loads of adults in the future who are mentally ill because they've been sheltered to a degree where they can't cope with real life. I don't even want to think what's going to happen to them, because if it carries on down this path, that's what we'll end up with. If, you know, they're sheltered so much they can't cope with real life, what good will it do to them? People need to be able to deal with issues, face issues. Issues are not going to go away. We're always going to get them. We are human. I keep saying this as well. We're not perfect, not in this day and age. It isn't a utopia. There are always going to be issues. We're always going to say or do the wrong thing at some point in our lives. We need to accept that's the truth and reality of humanity as it is now. Maybe in the future we will be perfect, but it's all science. So what we're doing is going against science to the point where it's too much. I'm not going to go into it that much. I'm not going to go into it so much that you lot will... I'll see Zeds in the comments or whatever that I'll bore people if this hasn't already done that. But I am so fed up of getting violations. It's not just the violations. I know where it's coming from and the whole system. I'm just going to pause it. Anyway, yeah, I'm just fed up with it, guys. I follow people who get bullied and harassed. I see the most cruel, horrific comments, and I know people that I follow, quite a few of them. Oh, the most awful comments you just wouldn't say to somebody. You wouldn't say if you saw them face to face, or you wouldn't say at all. And I see them, I hear about them, yet if I see them, I report the comments. A few days later, I get an update on that report from TikTok stating the update, obviously, whether it's a violation or not. It should be a violation if my videos are a violation. When do I do win the appeal? But if they're considered violation, when all my comments, when literally I just back someone up saying, oh, I can't believe someone said that, I'm with you, so-and-so. I'm not going to put the name of the so-and-so person I'm following, but that's literally what I've said, and I've had a violation for it. Things like that. Yet they can come out with the most cruel, horrific things about a person, threatening things with them and their family. Horrible. And from what I know, it's not just one comment. It can be one person or one or two people doing it continually, privately and publicly. Yet it's not seen as bullying, harassment. That is bullying, harassment. And it's not a violation to make comments like that, to leave comments like that on a stranger's internet, social media. I don't understand that. Yet there are other people like me who are not just... I'm not the only one who's getting violations. It needs to be like... I've said it before. Different platforms for children or vulnerable people. And then platforms like with the film, like we have with films, we have ratings. I'm sure there weren't ratings in one day and age. You know, when they first came out, there probably weren't any PGs and age-rated films. I find that hard to believe that there were. As far as I know, there weren't. I haven't looked into the history of it, but just common sense tells me there wouldn't have been. And I haven't heard of it. Anyway, the point is, social media is still like taking off. TikTok's still quite new. You know, we're in the early stages still. It's not like we've been on... It's been popular for lots of decades, and when it's the case, maybe 100 years, I hope not 100 years, but hopefully in the future we just have different platforms for children and adults, or vulnerable people and adults. It's a lot better. I mean, the TikTokers I follow make money. If a TikToker is making money from a platform, or it's a hobby, like it is with me, or if it's just a way of getting themselves out there like it is with me, whatever reason they have got for going on TikTok, and it's a big part of their life. Some people, it might be the whole life. It might be, might centre around TikTok. How are they supposed to actually be successful with that if they're getting violations all the time? How are they supposed to? I mean, that defeats the object of having the platform. Might as well shut the platform down, or people are just going to leave it anyway eventually. A majority of people, if it keeps getting more strict and it carries on down this road. I mean, at the moment, TikTok can do something about it, but, other social medias are not as strict as TikTok, but they are becoming so strict that I have complained in the last few months, probably more than once, that I cannot get into my accounts a lot of the time, and nobody's hacked me. I keep getting told that I might have been hacked, or I may have been, it's like I've been hacked. It was me. It was me. I want this two-step authentication. I had it with Google. I've taken it off. I was told by Google it does mess about with people's accounts, and I have found out with other accounts if it's been put on automatically. It isn't usually, but a couple of social medias it has been. I've taken it off because that has been most of the problem, and most of the issue with my accounts has been this two-step authentication. I've never needed it anyway. We need to stop. We're putting too much protection in place. Ugh. I've seen the effect of that. I've been around long enough to see the effect and what damage it can do. Not having enough protection is damaging. Not having too much protection is damaging. There needs to be a balance. We've gone from one extreme to the other. World, wake up. We are human. Wake up. We're not perfect. We need to accept that. We need to be forgiving. We need to realise